for you, for a new Madonna to be born. Yes.
Hi, I'm Kurt Loder, and we're here in the Hungarian capital of Budapest, or Budapest as it's pronounced, straddling the Danube River about 100 miles east of Vienna. It was here in April that director Alan Parker brought his production of the hit Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Evita, and a cast that included Jonathan Pryce, Antonio Banderas, and in the title role, Madonna, a role she was born to play. It's Madonna who invited us to tag along.
There's probably a lot of people out there who have no idea who Evita is, so...
After this, they'll know, though.
Education is my business.
Madonna, Madonna.
If you thought the Like a Prayer video or the sex book stirred up cultural commotion, you should have been in Buenos Aires when Madonna arrived to start shooting the movie musical Evita. Madonna plays Eva Perón, a woman who rose from poverty to power as the First Lady of Argentina and became, among other things, a champion of the poor. The musical Evita had started out in 1976 as a quasi-rock concept album. It soon turned into a stage show, and a movie version was also rumored, even announced, but never materialized. Madonna, fascinated by the character of Eva Perón, began campaigning for this part in the mid-'80s. Her name came up again after her appearance in the box office hit Dick Tracy, but that too fell through. Now the movie is underway at last, and Madonna's finally landed her dream role. How did you get the role this time around? Did you have to campaign?
Groveled. Do you want to see the scars on my knees?
Surely there was no groveling involved.
Oh, yes. There's always groveling involved. I did launch a campaign. I mean, mostly phone calls and letter writing and incantations and lots of candle lighting in church and stuff like that.
Did you show up in guise at one point?
No, but what I did was I sent my Take a Bow video. I've always been in love with you. When I was thinking about the visual for that, I was inspired by Eva Perón, the style of the 40s and the 50s, the way she used to dress, actually. So I thought, oh, this is perfect timing. So I sent him the video and a 10-page letter listing all the reasons why I was the only person who could play the part.
When did you first become aware of this story? I mean, was it through the musical, or did you read?
I learned about it in history class in high school, but I don't think I paid an incredible amount of attention to it. And then when I moved to New York, the musical was going on. I never went to see the musical, but I knew of its existence.
The 1980 Broadway production of Evita, with Patti LuPone in the title role, won 8 Tony Awards and helped launch the show as a global phenomenon. Do you think that people who saw this show, perhaps when it first came out, are going to see this and say, oh, what have they done to this sacred text?
No. I think they're going to see it and go, wow. I think people who are already fans of it are going to love it even more.
Director Alan Parker, whose credits range from Midnight Express to Fame, The Commitments, and Pink Floyd's The Wall, faced an unusual challenge in making Evita. All the dialogue is sung, requiring the cast to gather in London to record the soundtrack before shooting on the film itself began.
This is such an unusual genre to be able to act and sing. I mean, goodness knows that MTV knows that images and music work with regards to communicating to people. And I think if you can do that in long form, in strong dramatic form, it's quite special.
I gather Alan's shooting this in a different way from the traditional musical in which people suddenly erupt into song in the middle of a cornfield.
Yeah, no, it's done in a very naturalistic way. Yeah, completely.
Well, here the challenge has been not to burst into song, but to hopefully take the audience along and have them listen to a story that's told entirely through music.
Difficult because you don't have the freedom and the capacity of improvisation that normally you have in other movies. We have to be every note.
Was everyone aware that Antonio could sing? I mean, or was this a revelation to people?
Well, I knew he could sing because he was going to do it many other versions ago. I don't think the rest of the world knew he can sing, and he's quite a good singer, so I think people will be pleasantly surprised.
Antonio Banderas loomed large in Madonna's 1991 concert film, Truth or Dare.
We didn't loom that large. We had this much of a scene. Everyone makes such a big deal about it.
Oh, well, that's what I meant to
So
say.
boring.
Antonio Banderas is this Spanish actor that I've had a crush on for 2 years. I've got it all worked out in my head. I'm gonna make Antonio fall madly in love with me. Only there was this one rather major obstacle that I'd never really counted on. His wife.
I was a big fan of his then, and I am now. I mean, before, when I was talking about him in the movie, saying, God, I want to meet him, he's so gorgeous, I really didn't know him, and that's the attitude of somebody who is fixated on an image of somebody, and they haven't been humanized for you yet. I've gotten to know him over the years, and we've become friends, and he's not anywhere nearly as interesting. No, I'm just kidding. He's great, but he's been humanized for me, and I don't look at him the same way.
What are we wearing?
Anything to keep warm. I had to do a lot of manipulating to get to wear a coat tonight.
Who made these clothes? Is anyone we know?
This is period. I don't know what this is. I've got...
Could we see it? Is it possible? I know it's cold.
Well, I look kind of chubby because I'm wearing lots of long underwear, so...
Well, explain that. Well, long underwear and the beginnings of a long-sought pregnancy, courtesy of boyfriend Carlos Leon.
So you've actually had a relationship with Carlos for 2 years now. This is good, right? This is kind of, unless of course you talk about it.
Can we talk about the movie?
Sure.
Good.
Okay. Okay. See what you're saying.
Touchy, touchy, touchy. All right, time for a quick break, but we'll be back with more Madonna-rama south of the border, so stay tuned.
Bye. And I just want to say that I'm not getting paid enough to suffer this time.